Throw your motherfucking hands. Get 'em high.
Welcome back to the Money and Pod, man. I'm Rashad Milligan, joined here today by RB Mo and Jelani. Fellas, how are y'all doing?
Man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm feeling heaven sent, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll probably touch on that song later, but like, yeah, that describes the mood right now. I was just gonna say, like, it's I don't know if it's officially spring yet. Like, I don't know if it's technically the first day of spring, but it's definitely the first day where it's like the pollen is crazy outside, like super crazy outside. Like you take your phone out and the pollen is everywhere. So I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm kind of encouraged because like once that spring gets here, it's like okay, we here now. Like it's a good time of year.
Facts. Yeah,
What
feeling
we
good outside.
arguing about anyway? Oh, I forgot it's summertime.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, I've been feeling real good outside, man. You know, I am excited to finally get out of the cold weather, man. It's like that was too long.
This was a rough winter, and it's really it's low key. It's not over. Like we probably got. I think spring like really might be coming up, but I'm like March, like late March, like around this time, early April, you always got like that last couple like winter storms or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
so
not
far,
gonna be.
I feel like it's been flashing. Like it's been going from cold to hot to cold to hot. Like it's been doing the whole cold in the morning, warm in the afternoons, like then get back cold at night. Like it's, you know what I mean? We still not all, like Jelani said, we still not all the way in one season yet.
Facts. Yeah. I think
You,
that last little run that it did. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. I was in Puerto Rico during it, but I felt the effects because it disrupted my flight back home. So yeah, so it was. I didn't see the snow and all that stuff, but man, it was causing problems.
Mr. Thanksgiving, DJ Drama.
no, exactly. Um, yeah, you get in your 30s and then you start the conversation off just talking about the weather, like coming out the gate. That's what exciting lives that we live. Now, my boy he came back from Puerto Rico. How was the experience?
It was lit, man. The weather was, as I said, was really nice. It was amazing. It wasn't too hot. It's very windy out there. And I'll say one thing that I noticed in comparison to any beach I ever been to, the waves out there were crazy. You know, it was just consistently crashing pretty hard. And I think it was, as I said, in comparison to any other place, I think with the wind and stuff, it was just a different feel. But as I said, it made it feel really good. And yeah, went out there, saw Old San Juan, went to like little rainforest, caught a little vibe. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely go surfing out there. I'm not even gonna hold you. But yeah, man, it was cool, man. I told Rashad, I mean, actually, no, I ain't gonna bring that part up. But yeah,
I feel like it's low key a little more out there because I'm posting more stuff from like work, lately. Um,
right.
because I had that kind of entire rant of like I feel like people not acknowledging what I do, so I started posting a lot more stuff from work to kind of let people know what I do, and
Right.
in that people can put two and two together where I'm at.
Well, I was finna bring up a particular part of my trip that I had texted you about.
And that as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
so those two things definitely, yeah.
yeah. But, but yeah, but it was very beautiful out there, man. Yeah, that area that's Old San Juan right there, and there's like a fort right there, like a fortress. And I can remember the name of that fortress, but yeah, you can like walk along like the area and whatnot. Yeah, so and it's a big old like just green grass for you just to kind of chill at. So, but yeah, beautiful, man. Great vibes. Had a great time. I went with my mom's, uh, and yeah, she loved it. So she's not usually a fan of the beach, but yeah, she had a great time. Um, yeah, so I have a hat just like that. Yes, sir. What's good? Um, I have a hat just like that, which I was trying to wear, but because of the background, it wasn't showing. But yeah, man, bro, Bad Bunny he gonna have a statue out there one day, bro. They love that man.
Yeah,
They,
he
they
like.
said, "Oh, go ahead, Jelani."
No, I was gonna say like he. I'm trying to think of like artists in the United States who's like means as much to they city as like what he would mean to their country. I don't know if this is like a fair comparison because he's really is like the country of Puerto Rico, like the ambassador basically.
Bro, for real. They got murals of him everywhere. Our tour guide while I was in Old San Juan, there was a mural of him and this other dude. And then she was just like, yeah, does anybody know who that is? I was like, that's Bad Bunny. She was like, yeah, Benito. And then start going in, like talking about him, and then just kept walking. And then I was like, wait, who's the other dude? She's like, oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, that he's like a poet or something. Like I was like, all right. But yeah, nah, it was really dope, man. The nightlife out there, it was mad people. It's a very lively nightlife. One thing that it reminded me of, which is cool, I learned during one of the tours, that they have a lot of their architecture is like Spanish inspired, but then they have some French inspired like architecture. And so if you've been to New Orleans before, like especially like Bourbon Street, walking on some of the streets, it looks similar to Bourbon Street, just with the places with the railing and the balconies. Yeah. So it's just like a colorful Bourbon Street, pretty much.
French Quarter too. French Quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, with especially with what's it called? Palm trees. So yeah, great vibe. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you, they out there, bro.
No, I didn't want to ask. I was thinking that, like, I did kind of want to. I just could want to figure that, I mean, I would imagine that they would be out there.
Yeah, they was out there. But I think I went during a time where like spring break and stuff, so I think that was kind of going on as well.
You said inflation.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Houston, but yeah, they was outside.
Can we briefly talk about that? Because I don't know. I'm 30, so like I'm out the loop as far as I'm not completely out the loop. Like the algorithm makes it so like stuff that 20, 21, 22-year-olds will pop up on my timeline. But I just don't understand the idea of going somewhere that one doesn't have a beach, two is just not walkable. Like Houston is known for being like one of the least walkable cities in America. It's not even like at least even Atlanta, you still got certain places like Midtown where like you could get away with not having a car there. There's really nowhere in Houston you could be and not have a car. So like you're gonna have to pay money for Ubers. As you were seeing, like if you've been keeping up, people got scammed out of their sections. Like it was, I just don't know why the kids chose that city.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. And it seems from what I'm seeing, it don't even seem like they really having that good of a time.
Bruh, it is not lit at all, bro. Like, I don't know if it's just a generation, because it could be a generational thing. And I know it's a very much thing. Like, I've been out with people who have danced or like walked in somewhere and they said they didn't want to end up on someone's like going viral or something like that for like just being themselves, having fun, having a good time. Cause I seen one of the Houston parties, they hired an influencer that dances, the dude that be dancing to the little young boy song, She Gonna Call Me Baby Boo. And then he be doing all the dances all fast and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he do like the little Kim dance a lot. Like they booked him for a party and he was up there, She Gonna Call Me Baby. And he like, and like, I don't know, it's like everybody kind of should know who he is and everybody should be like maybe laughing or turning like, you know what I mean, hyping him up or something. They were just like looking at him, and a couple girls recorded him like, "What is this dude doing?" And the comments was like the Drewski skit of the dude always dancing in the club. I was like, "Oh, y'all don't even know that this is like that's his whole thing of doing dancing really aggressively to this song. That's how he got famous." So, the reason why they were in Houston, though, to give the background, because I think we spoke on this last pod, but I'll just bring it up again for the people who didn't know, like listeners and everything too. Miami and Palm Beach, they banned the kids from going there for spring break. I guess because it was like it just became too much for them. I remember a couple spring breaks ago, like in Miami, the kids were going stupid on Ocean Drive, standing on cars, destroying property, overpowering the police and the local law enforcement. Because it's only so many police, and you got thousands of kids. Like there's a power imbalance there. So you try to enact a curfew and try to control a bunch of thousands of wild drunk kids, like kind of out of luck. Like you're not going to win if you're local law enforcement. So they just banned them from spring break after that. So you can't go to Florida. You can't go to the beaches. The next cheapest place is going to be somewhere in the South. So it's either going to be, I guess you can kind of go Virginia beaches. That's kind of the South. That's like at the
I was thinking that too. Like,
the intersection of the South and the East Coast.
I mean, I know it ain't the most luxurious beach, but still, like,
it is a beach.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Even like I don't know, I just feel like they could have thought more outside the box. Like, is Jersey Shore still popping? Like, is that still?
Well, but you got to think it's like if these are like because when we think of spring break as like Black people, we're thinking of young Black, college students. So it's like most of the stuff has to happen in the southeastern part of the United States because it's the cheapest there, and that's kind of realistically closest to where most Black young kids are. A lot of silence. So most Black kids that they're not to schools in the Northeast and that Ivy League, Penn and Harvard and all these other schools. There's definitely kids there because there's kids from Atlanta that go up to them schools that are Black. But like for the most part, most kids are in the South.
No, I feel that. I don't know. I guess Houston is just still a random place. I think you could, but I think just the fact that so many people talk about Houston is so hyped up. But I'm like, all these college kids, y'all can't. I don't know. I guess maybe they live in different college lives. You feel me? Or they got them refund checks and they was sitting there, waiting on that. But I'm just like, bro, y'all went out there and y'all getting taxed. If it was me, I would have. You said like Virginia Beach, right? I don't know. I guess Myrtle Beach ain't really nothing for real, but I would rather be by a beach for spring break.
I don't know about Myrtle Beach. I just feel like it's too many. Like that's like going to Savannah. It's too many like older people there. Like what I mean? Like they're not about to welcome no thousands of young kids.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The options, I do think I saw people saying this, like, it is a result, low key, of all of us being on the internet at the same time, seeing the same stuff. Because you got these young kids seeing, like, people in their 20s or, like, their late 20s or 30s that be in Houston on, like, TikTok, living their lives. So they think that that's, like, what they could do for, what I'm saying? But they don't understand, like, these people. If you outside in Houston spending money going out on regular, these are people that have money, like whether it be legally or illegally. And these are people that are over the age of 21. If you under the age of 21 in Houston, bro, it's not really anything for you to do. So that's already like cuts out like half of the college kids right there. So you have people basically that just went down there to just stand at gas stations and maybe like go from, Airbnb to Airbnb basically. But if they having fun, I mean, I guess.
Kids are not having fun, bro. Like I seen another video of South Memphis hype man. Y'all know him? Go summer down, brother ain't hype like me, brother. And he do the little dance everywhere and stuff like that with the boombox. Anyways, shout out Memphis.
You know all the TikTok dancers.
Yeah, well, like the little Facebook reels and stuff like that. I don't be on TikTok, but I do be on like Facebook for sure.
Yeah, I just know Tisa Korean. That's the only one I
Oh
know.
yeah, shout out Tisa Kareem. Like that's a Houston legend for sure. He was
Yeah.
at Mercury's birthday party. Shout out Mercury, man. Real Atlanta underground legend. Merc. Uh, Pop star Benny was DJing, and then Tisa Kareem was like the headline performer. Shout out Tisa for showing up, popping out for Merc. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. So South Five is man, hype man. He went to one of the parties and he dancing around. Hype man going some down, and everywhere he goes, usually like a group of people, especially if it's younger black folks, they like group around him, start singing the song and doing the dance with them, and you know what I mean, like they're having a good time. At least hyping them up and going like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, these kids just like looking at him from their phones. They just like, it's some people in the back in they sections, they sitting down and they like this, they bobbing their head, they smiling, but they not getting up, they not standing up in their section. And it might be because they don't want to get up to lose a spot in the section. I don't know. But like they not getting up. And it's like, dang, y'all just gonna sit down the whole time. The comment section was like, they must be doing the mannequin challenge. Like, you know what I mean? So they don't look like they were having fun, bro. Like it just looked like it was just too much. I mean, but maybe that's how the new generation has fun. Maybe because if you never knew how we had fun of like da 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 da, which I thought was whack. I want to go on another tangent. I thought it was real whack the way that some folks try to shame kids for having fun back in the day. Like if it's some dudes and they mosh pitting or they dancing or they jumping around, and you like, bruh, you ain't talk to no girls, you ain't get no numbers, you just dancing in a moshy pit with some other dudes. And it's like, bro, them kids is having fun. If that's fun to them, let them have fun. Everything ain't about getting women. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought that mindset was kind of crazy, in my opinion. I don't know what y'all think, but yeah.
I think you should have balance. I think a balance of it, because the guys who are doing that all night, they're usually musty. Let's keep it a buck. Like if you just sitting there mosh pitting the whole night, usually you smelling crazy, and then it's just like you doing too much when it's just it'd be like, bro, like all right, like I feel you on certain songs, but then certain songs it's like vibe a little bit, bro. But you know, but I do get you where people try to make certain people seem like kind of project onto them like, oh, you doing too much, this, that, and the other. I think you can find that balance, and still have fun. But I don't think the whole party you need to be dummy turned up. It's like soon as Finito comes on, he the first one. He pushing everybody. Hey, what's good, Dan? Dan the man, yes sir.
Dan.
But yeah, like it's really if you turned up all day, as soon as that first song come on, they rushing to get to the center, and it just be like, all right, bro, like when you moving people out the way, you start a little like pushing and stuff. It'd be like, come on, dog. So that's why I feel like it's a give and take.
I mean, it depends what type of party or like event it is too, because I mean, there's still certain parties where people actually dance at. You know what I mean? Like there are DJs that host parties at, or at least in Atlanta, like there's DJs that host parties at different spots where people still dance, and that's the environment for people to be sweating, dancing, turning up. But then you got, unfortunately, like a lot of the black clubs at this point, like it's mostly section culture. So like, yeah, in those type of environments where like, it's a lot of Hellstar, a lot of Chrome Hearts in the building. Um, yeah, like it's not too much dancing going on. It's just the girls might hit like a light twerk every now and then, or they'll like twerk on their homegirl or whatever. But like for the most part, the dudes just be post it up, might roll something up, might drink something. But if you in that type of environment, if you get up and dance, if you like the music too much, like they look at you like you tripping, which is crazy because you're paying a lot of times thousands of dollars to be in a building, just to basically just stand around and film each other.
No facts.
I definitely see where Mo's coming from, and I guess I would agree with it. Of just like it's a balance for sure. It's a balance. I will say like the part that I have a problem with is what like Jelani's saying. It's like a lot of times the people who will complain about it will be the people who's just in there just to be posted. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally just posted on the pole the whole night. You might, like you say, might have some to smoke on in your hand, might have a cup in your hand, and you just post it on the little pole, whatever, in the corner the whole night. And then you looking at folks and you like, and you pull out your phone and you go to being a Twitter comedian. Oh man, y'all boy go dress up the whole night to go out just to bump into some other dudes for 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, let them have fun, bro. Cause all you doing, you dressed up and came out the house just to people watch. Like, that ain't crazy. Like, I mean, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But don't shame other folks for actually doing something if they go out. That's all I'm saying.
Right. No, and I do agree with that. As I said, it's just when you, as some people be too turned and you bumping into everybody. And I remember I was at this one spot. This is one spot that used to be open, the Reverie, called Reverie. I don't know if y'all ever been there. Y'all been to Reverie?
I've never been, but I definitely heard a lot of people talk about it. I went there.
Yeah, that was one of the, I ain't gonna lie, one of the last best spots that I personally have been to. Like I think I haven't been to the new MJQ. It be looking cool, but I haven't been in there. But yeah, it was a VR bar, but then at night it'll turn into like a club and it'd be packed out, people dancing, it'll be vibes. But I remember it was like, you know, like everybody kind of turn up, you know, having a good time, but then it'd be certain songs that not everybody turning up to. And I know one particular song is the one dude that played, it was the DJ that played Poof by Pierre Bourne. And it's a solid song. You could turn up to it, but it was like, bro, like, you know, like this, you the only one turned up right now. Everybody kind of like, we all vibing, you feel me? That's what threw me off for a second. I was like, why he just zoom in up there? What's over there?
Yeah, no, I went to another tab and I zoomed in on that picture, and I guess it like zoomed in on this picture as well. So that's what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, in that moment, I ain't gonna lie, I was one of the people like, all right, buddy doing too much, you know. And it was funny, I was with one of my homeboys, and you know, he was one of the people that used to want to just have fun, turn up. And I remember that song came on, and I said, other dude was like turning up, doing a lot, and then he went to join him. But as he was getting ready to join him, he was taking off his shirt. And bro, it was so funny because me and like the other person I was with, it was like three of us. We both looked at him and it was just like, we looked at each other and was just like, no, and grabbed him. It was like, nah, bro, like you doing too much now. He was like, I can't take off my shirt. I'm like, you can, but bro, that's not the vibe.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, like Poof from Beat, because if I'm not mistaken, that's the song that the don't quit, I just went through quick. Whoa,
Yeah,
I just do this temp. That song ain't turning enough for that. Like now, if it was one of that XX Tentacion, that like if it was one of them or Finito, like okay, I get it, Finito, whatever. But like that song is like, it's like if you wanna, you know what I mean, if you wanna or wanna go, hey, like a light little joint, you know what I'm saying? You don't go hard with that, you know what I'm saying? I think the line, I also want to say this, Mo, is bumping into or stepping on a woman's shoes. As soon as you do that, that's my sign I need to calm down. Because I'm tall too, so they already looking at me like, you know, so I'm like, if I step on someone's shoes or something like that, I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And I escort myself out the little circle. And I just, you know what I mean? I just be chilling after that.
Yeah, that could be very embarrassing right there. Like stepping on you definitely gotta like reassess, like, okay, like you know what I'm saying, I'm wilding right now once you step on a woman's feet.
No, facts. Yeah, or as he said, or bump into her.
Or because you know, in that pit, you just get pushed around. So
Yeah.
when you get pushed around, if you get pushed around and you just happen to hit, you know what I'm saying, bump into a girl that you get pushed into, and then she just like, and you look back and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Cause they be looking so, you know what I'm saying, like petite and just, you know what I mean? Like they're just there watching. They might be smiling or they might not want to do it. Like they backed up purposely when they saw the pit forming and you
Right.
bumping into them. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to be the dude that's, I think that's when you're like, I'm doing too much. Let me turn it down a notch. I can still have fun. And then nowadays, at my age, for the last few years, I say since about maybe since probably post pandemic, I've been like this because I, you know, we were all a bit younger once we came out the pandemic. Um, for the most part, I just be outside the circle and just like, you know, looking at the youngins like, yeah, y'all do y'all thing, youngins. But you know what I mean? Like I'm turning up in spirit. I ain't standing still, but I'm showing you, you know what I'm saying? I'm in support of what y'all got going.
No, facts. I went to a Destroy Lonely concert. I think I told you about this. I went to a Destroy Lonely concert, bro. Back in 20, it had to be what, 2023? Yeah, about early 2023, late 2022, something like that. And it was because one of my coworkers that I worked with, he was a big Detroit Lonely fan. But he like at the time was probably about 32, 33. And he was like, yo, I'm telling you, bro, y'all gotta like we gotta go to this, concert. It's gonna be lit, bro. He's so lit. So I'm like, all right, I listened to some of his music. I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. Like, all right, let's do it. So we get down on the floor area. And that was the moment where I realized, like, okay, this life ain't for me no more. Cause yeah, they were mosh pitting, and I was just like, bro, if one of these kids hit me, bro, this is not gonna be fun no more. And yeah, but I was on the outside just sitting there vibing, I was turning up like, hey, but on in my respective area. But yeah, going in the middle of the mosh these days, nah. Cause also they mosh different these days. Like they really, when we mosh, it was like, a little light pushing, ha ha ha. They really punch. Like they really get in there and they looking to like shed blood. You feel me?
They on their rock stuff nowadays. Cause you know that's how rock mosh pits always were from the jump, like throwing punches and kicking and all that. But
Right.
in hip hop, we would just do the hey, and so now but I think it's a term with the music as well, because like this whole new little vampire sound and stuff like that, like all that is like kind of just intertwining heavy metal with rap music. And it's all Playboy Cardi's fault. Cause remember Playboy Cardi, like he was making the turn Atlanta stuff where he was like, what? What? And they interviewing him and he said, I ain't even a rapper. I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. And then he with the song with Uzi, I'm a rock star. And then and now he just does wah over the little guitars and the little vampire sound. Like he paved the way. And I think that's a good thing. That's a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's like, okay, you brought something new to the rap game. It's a bad thing because now like all these kids want to be is rock stars, and it's like we don't know what you're saying.
Facts.
They tell you that you just don't get it and that you're old and the times have changed if you tell them that you don't know what they're saying.
Facts.
Yeah, no, like the Cardi influence on the youth is, I mean, I feel like you could tell from like how the kids are dressing, like the bedazzled outfits and the crop top. I feel like, I don't know, the I feel like Thug for like a few years was like the most influential Atlanta rapper as far as like influence of the kids and how they were dressing and all that. But I definitely think since 2020, you would have to say Cardi is like the most influential of his era. But really, he was talking about the mosh pits. Like, yeah, no, I listen. Like, I enjoy. I want to go out. I want to go places where people are dancing, and like, I I definitely want to be outside for sure, and like be in environments where it's we sweating a little bit and all that. But like you said, it's like to a limit, bro. I'm not trying to get injured. I'm not trying to get punched in the face to turn up. I'm not trying to awkwardly, like you said, step on a girl's foot, or I ain't trying to be turning up to the point where I'm musty either. You know, you gotta, like you said, keep it in moderation.
Yeah, I am not trying to sweat in the club. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
See, I ain't gonna say that. I low key, I am trying to sweat, but like not to the point where like my clothes is drenched. If that makes sense.
This man trying to look like a Sean Paul video.
I was just that's what I was thinking about. That's literally what I was thinking about right now. I was thinking like a Nelly hiding here type situation.
No,
Bruh. So all right, so I need a new light bulbs, right? For my little ceiling fan. Because I got 4 lights. Only one work now. So the room be mad dark like half the day and the light be on. So I'm just wasting money. So I'm like, okay, let me go buy some new ones. So I'm looking to order a new one. And I see this joint, it say color light bulbs, Wi-Fi. I said, oh, that's a bar. That joint was $20. I said, oh, it's $20 for a whole pack. I said, man, that might be worth it, but you know what I mean? Bro, you could control it from your phone. Bruh, so I put it in the little ceiling fan. It don't work in the ceiling fan one, but it work on my lamp. So I just use it in the lamp. Watch this. Where I'm at. Come on, man. Stop playing with me, bro. So that's really what I'm rocking with now for sure. But I'll say it was NABJ. I say the NABJ party last year. I danced the whole night. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going no mosh pit, but I was with my people. We was on the side. It was like me and some folks from like 11 Alive, some folks from, you know, other news stations and stuff like that, because it's journalism conference. And so I'm just like, this the whole night, at least I'm at least giving them this the whole night. And yeah, I was sweating. Like, you know, I'm doing this while I'm, you know what I mean? And I went the whole night, and someone was like, bro, you danced the whole night. I was like, because I was on some, why don't nobody dance no more? So like I said that kind of going into it. So I set the example of like going overboard and like dancing the whole time. Like I wasn't doing too much. I wasn't, you know what I mean, bumping into people. I was just in my little corner with my 11 Alive folks. I had, you know, one of the anchors at 11 Alive dancing with me. And every time a song came on, they looked at me, they said, Rashad, let's go.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So but I will say, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I was a bit damp for sure at the end of the night with the undershirt.
No, being damp is crazy. See, the thing is, you just didn't have the proper attire in that moment, but you had the right. You was right. Like going out to actually enjoy yourself and dancing. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain clothing don't. But then again, you got to think like there was an era, like that whole like grown and sexy era when they made people, you know, like wear like suits to the club and jackets and stuff like that. There was an era when people was dancing with vests and polo sweaters and stuff like that on.
I think it was more acceptable to sweat back then though, because it was, you could just be like, oh, he's on heroin.
Okay, heroin is crazy.
I was talking about like more recently, like not like I'm talking about like late 2000s. Yeah. I don't think too many people was doing heroin by that point.
I was thinking about the 70s, you know, where they had the little button downs and then their chest was out though. Like that's what I was thinking in the disco, the little and they, you know, going crazy like this the whole night. That's the era I was thinking.
Yeah, no, they was on heroin. They was on all that stuff. But
yeah, heroin, coke, everything in between.
Yeah, but the 2000s, they were just on that Incredible Hulk.
Right, yeah, just Hypnotic and Hennessy. Yeah, if you was not to look down on anybody, because I've struggled with my own stuff in life, so I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, be judgmental, but like doing heroin in like 2007 is I'm not looking down, but like in the black community, you definitely would have been getting judged at that point. You know, it was kind of it was out of style by that time.
Yo, did I ever tell y'all the story about the guy I went to college with? Without
this was
NABJ?
the end of the night of NABJ. So you can't see it, but I definitely remember being a bit damp at the end of this night.
My boy got the light skin face on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look at Reggie. That's
Yeah,
11 alive,
you look
man.
like he was
For
in years
all the
old.
Atlanta folks. These are all like people that be on TV and they respected markets. Like he on it's CBS. He on he be on like ESPN and stuff, calling games play by play. He used to be on CBS Atlanta. Now he back in Missouri teaching at Missouri. He in Kentucky. He on 11 alive. I don't know, bro, but salute to him though. He doing his thing. Shouts out. But yeah. Continue.
But yeah, did I ever tell y'all the story about the kid when I was in college that had that did heroin with with somebody that overdosed?
No.
So when I was in Southern my freshman year, I had these crazy next door neighbors. My roommates were crazy, but then my next door neighbors were just as crazy, if not crazier. And there was this one dude named Yoki. And so Yoki came second semester. When Yoki came second semester, he had went to school with them. They all went to like private school somewhere in Atlanta. And it was like, oh, Yoki, yeah, that's our boy, blah blah blah. So he was always around, but Yoki was dummy wild. And they said like first semester he had some stuff going on, so he wasn't able to come. So, but he used to stay on like mad drugs and whatnot. So we were all together one time at one of the bars. And I remember I was next to Yoki. And this dude walks up to him and was just like, yo, are you Yoki? And he was like, yeah. What's up? He was like, Buddy looked at him and said, you killed Robert. And and like they had to hold him back. His friends like literally grabbed him and hold him back. And he was about to like just start firing on Buddy. And so I'm looking like, whoa, like what's going on? So when we get back to the crib, like his friends tell me the story. It was a football player at their school. It was a black dude that I guess he was a good player. I don't know if would say the star player, but I think he was he was the better players on the team. And I don't know if he had scholarships. I don't know what his future held, honestly. But Yoki had got him to start doing heroin. And they both OD'd one night. And Robert died. And yeah, dang, I said the D word, my bad. But yeah, Robert expired. And it was but yeah, and so everybody blamed Yoki because they were like, if it wasn't for you, Robert would have never been doing that. And yeah, I'll never forget that moment because yeah, Buddy, and I heard about how people blamed Yoki for it, but then to see it firsthand where a dude like literally confronted him in the middle of like the club pretty much, it was like I was like, dang, bro. But yeah, that's them private school white kids, man.
Yeah, nah, I don't know. The thing about it now is that there's not even like either there's no more pure version of it or it's like very little in America right now. Like most of that stuff is stepped on with something crazy like that, like fentanyl or something like that. That I hope we can say that word. We should be able to say that word. It is a scientific thing, but like, yeah, that stuff is. I mean, I shouldn't have to give a PSA about why you shouldn't do heroin. Like I think people know, to try to avoid that. But
yeah,
I remember I had a coworker get fired because he was like a forklift driver at our job, but he would just randomly start missing days, and then eventually found out that he was doing that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dog. What's his name? Rod Wave. He got this one song called "Pills and Bills," and he got this one line in there. He was like, I seen my cousin do crack his whole life. Fentanyl hit the streets. He died. He overdosed that same night." And I was just like, dang,
That's true.
Yeah, that crack ain't pure no more, man.
A lot of people who like we were just talking about, they was doing heroin in the 70s or crack in the 80s, and then it was fine. Like they lived, got to be old, and then like you said, fentanyl came out. When I said fine, I mean like relatively fine compared to overdosing on fentanyl and dying. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean some of them were fine. Let's keep it a buck. Like
Yeah, some of them were functioning.
yeah, it's a lot more people, especially like I'll say a lot of the people who are doing all those crazy drugs back in the day, they somebody grandpa now, just out here living life. They just got over the phase, especially a lot of these rock stars. They keep it a buck. A lot of these rock stars, that's like, what's his name? Ozzy Osbourne that, passed away at what, like 70? But I think the rest of Kiss is all still, no, he wasn't in Kiss, but Black Sabbath. Everybody else in Black Sabbath is still alive. He just so happens the first one that passed. And as I said, like I think most of Kiss is still alive. ABDC, all them dudes, I don't know if they're doing heroin. I ain't gonna put that on them, but they was in it. You feel me? So, but yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, did y'all know Dominique Wilkins became a Hawk because of someone's addiction?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, John Drew was on the Hawks. I think he was like the Hawks star player at the time, and he was on like cocaine or something like that. And so, since he couldn't get right, the Hawks traded him to the Utah Jazz for a draft pick by the name of Dominique Wilkins.
Mm.
And the rest is history.
Dang, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, I wrote about it during the pandemic. I was writing like Hawk stories that younger fans might not know of and stuff like that. Like Bill Russell never played for the Hawks because of racism.
Mm.
Julius Erving never played for the Hawks because they couldn't get the deal done from the ABA.
Oh wow.
See, I was going to say it was a Black History fact, but it's definitely not February. It has not been February for several weeks.
Hold on. First off, happy Internationals Women's Decade. You feel me? We're not even gonna do the month. This they whole decade.
Yeah, in fact, no, it's a women's lifetime.
Right. I told my coworker that.
What you
like, I told my coworker that. She was like, "Thank you so much." I was like, "Yeah, nobody else has definitely told you that."
Brian made that he introduced that to the game. He gave the fellas the blueprint. How to capitalize on that day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a fact.
No, we was talking about the players, Dominique Wilkins, like getting his opportunity because of another guy's addiction. Like, that era of the NBA is so crazy. Like they kind of like purposely don't talk about like that, like late 70s, early 80s era of the NBA, because you really had to, like, before Magic and Bird like made the game go global, you really definitely had like full-fledged like cocaine and heroin addicts just casually being in the NBA. And it's hard to fathom that now. Like, imagine a guy, we probably have had players that have been like alcoholics or pills or weed and stuff like that. But like, I just can't imagine like, all NBA guys today, like snorting cocaine. I don't know if I can say that.
Daryl Strawberry, probably not. We probably cannot say half the stuff you said this segment, but
probably cannot say. Yeah,
like we get to a certain point where y'all like slip up and y'all say something, and then y'all just say other things, and I'm like, hey, if it was taken away, it was already taken away at this point, bro.
Yo, it's too much. Like, it's the terminology. It's certain ones you can avoid, like corn, like things like that you could like replace, but it's like, man, it's hard to have a conversation about anything on here without setting off some sort of buzzword.
Snorting off that Snow White,
that Christina Aguilera.
You gotta go full clips, just pull out your dictionary of like, so tomorrow's the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana.
Hannah
on Ballin.
Montana. Hannah Montana. Hannah Mon-
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is doing like a special with them, with Disney Channel for like with the new Hannah Montana song and everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised she agreed to do that because, like, she's rich. I feel like she doesn't need to do it, but maybe she just, was like, "Hey, I want to do this and help you guys out." I don't know.
Y'all notice like everybody's going on tour right now?
Yeah, people are talking about that. I feel like people say that they've said that like the last couple of years, but to that point, excuse me, look at the economy the last couple of years.
That's what I'm
But look at
saying.
the gas prices, bro.
Yeah.
These celebrities be having like it ain't even people think it's like if you okay, let's say you got $1 million in your bank account, but your monthly bills are like $100,000. Like that, you can't really afford to just lay back, and you can't really miss no checks. You can't really turn down like no investment deals, no not investment deals, no endorsement deals or anything like that. Because it's like you like 6 months of no work from like potentially being broke because you still got to pay taxes the next year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, DDG said that. DDG said that. Oh, by the way, before I switch slides, this is Pete Maravich and Dr. J on the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh wow.
Crazy. Um. Oh, what was you about to say, Jelani?
oh no, I was you good, bro.
Yeah. DDG was talking about that one time. He was like, "I'm not broke or nothing like that, but it's just like I like nice things, and they cost money." So I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You have to maintain the lifestyle, and that's where most people go broke. You like how you go broke because if you're living like how you getting paid right now, you're not always going to get paid how you get paid right now, and it's kind of as simple as that.
No, that's a fact. And that's where a lot of people, how you said, a lot of people don't understand living below your means at times. And understand that, you can have moments of splurge, but you can't, once the money goes down, you got to go back, you got to reel it back a little bit. But people don't want to reel it back. They just keep going.
Yeah, I mean it's hard though because it's like I know for me personally, like I could sit here and say right now, like what I would do if I had a certain amount of money or whatever. Like I could write down like a responsible plan of how I would invest and all that. But it's different when you check that bank account and that money is there. Like once that money hits you, especially if you come from an environment where you didn't have any money and now you not even if you're a millionaire, if you in the entertainment industry or whatever or athlete and you get six figures, like bro, that's it's like the world is your playground or you feel like that in that moment.
I always say, bro, I seen 50K in my account one time. Boy, I went stupid. I had that 50K in my account for about 5 seconds.
That's real. That's the real. It's
That
like
money,
when you
that won't even 100. I ain't never seen 100 to my name. I went stupid when I seen 50. I ain't been nowhere near 50 cents.
But
So
they
just
pay
imagine 100, 500,000, 1 million. Oh my goodness, what?
not to pocket watch, but they gave you a salary up front.
No, I was staying with my mom and my dad
Oh,
when I moved back to Atlanta, and I had money saved up from college, and then I had money saved up from I don't know, for some reason the money kept going up. Like it was going up in Alabama, it was going up in Mississippi, and I wasn't getting paid anything, so I guess I was just barely, what I'm saying, just barely spending money for real. And then rent was under $1,000 in Mississippi and Alabama. And this was, 5, 6 years ago when rent was that much. So it was like, I guess my spent expenses was low. I wasn't flying because, when I wanted to go home, I would just drive most of the time. So I think a combination of all of those things is how I had So I came back to Atlanta probably about 30. And then, staying with my mom for a year, staying with my dad for a year. It touched 50. I mean, it went out immediately when bills hit, but I had 50. I saw 50 for about a hot second. And then that thing was gone. It was back to, 47, 48, whatever the case. Then it would go down to about 40, then about 30, then about 20, then 10, then 5, and then that's when I moved. So, like I said, hey, and it's been back there ever since. So it's like, hey, if you want to rob me, go ahead, rob me. You ain't gonna find nothing, Playboy. It ain't nothing there. That's why I'm not scared of what I'm saying that. But I'm just saying, I know how I was acting when I seen 50 in my account one time. So just imagine if I seen 100 to my name or 500, especially those many years ago. In my 20s, bro. So
Facts.
like, if I acted like that, and you know what I'm saying, like. We grew up in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't grow up, in the struggle. And I was acting like that with 50K in my 20s. So just imagine if you did, to Jelani's point, come up in the struggle and you see 50K times 10. Man, you gonna go crazy.
And it's funny, like I completely agree because I remember when I started working at like nicer restaurants, and when I used to work at Garden Room, that's where I I made really good money, but we got our cash every night. I feel like there's other places where I made more money, but they'll be on a check. But Garden Room, I would walk out with like hundreds, like sometimes thousands of dollars in cash, like at night. Bro, I'll pop out. I remember I went to my homegirl birthday, like she had like a little section at a club. Bro, I'm buying shots of 42. I, bro, like no cap, bro. I brought everybody a shot in there as soon as I walked in. Like, I'm like, hey, bring us a bottle. I was just like, just cause it's like, bro, I got hundreds right now. You feel me? Like, hey, straight cash. But it's like, but then I had to realize like, it come fast, it can leave fast. So,
It leave quicker.
bro, facts. But
Yeah,
yeah, you gotta learn. You gotta go through those moments to learn.
Man, what you hear them sob stories, you hear, man, it's just time just tough right now. Oh, say that. I got 50 right now. What you need? One? Oh, I got 49 left.
Right.
If I could just tell myself, but hey, you need to mess up the bag at least, like you say, at least once to understand the value of the bag.
Right. It's a fact.
Never again.
yeah. No, I've done so several times. It's definitely something that like I want to just not even. I just want to be in a position where it's like it's mostly in like they say you should put it in like stocks and things like that. I don't even want to have access to. I wouldn't have access to it if I need money, like emergency funds, but like I just want to have like like some cash somewhere, like a certain amount that I need, and then the rest of it just like in investments and things like that. I'm sorry, I'm still looking at this picture
Oh,
of
you want me to play it?
oh no, you don't have to. I was as he
I
shared.
want you to play it.
Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana.
See, I can't rock with this because I know how she feels about
I
rap.
got money.
What you say?
What you say?
Oh, I was asking what you said.
No, I said I can't rock with this because I know how she feels about rap music.
Oh.
Like I know it's not authentic. I know you don't really, what I'm saying. But shout out to there was I think we might have talked about this. I think, but there was like a whole debate on Twitter where they were talking about like the Mount Rushmore of Disney stars.
Yeah. I reacted to it. Excuse me. I reacted to it because Chrissy, Romano, the co-star on Even Stevens, she said that Shia LaBeouf ain't up there. And so that created like a big discussion. She was like, I'll write a letter about it later. And I was like, oh, she passionate about this.
I low key agree. because it's just that one show. Even though that show was that like helped.
But Holes, wouldn't you consider Holes like
Oh
a
yeah, Holes. I
Disney
forgot
channel?
about
You know what I
Holes.
mean?
I'm bugging. I definitely forgot about Holes. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a contender for sure. I mean, I think you would have to. Raven is without question. I think Raven and Hillary Duff are like guaranteed.
I agree.
And then from there, I think you could say Miley Cyrus, and then the fourth one. This is after my era, but I mean, you might have to say Selena Gomez.
I agree. I mean,
Okay, but here's the thing. I'm gonna challenge y'all first. Cause Sabrina Carpenter is, you know what I mean? She's hot. Like we can't ignore the fact that she's popping just because we not in tune with that generation. She doing arenas right now. You know what I'm saying?
but I think I don't think it's off of Disney though. I think Selena Gomez is famous off of Disney. Like, cause then, well, I think what was her name? Ariana Grande, was she Nick?
Yeah,
She was
she's
Nick.
Yeah,
on there.
she's
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
But I think if you was to do a Mount Rushmore of Nickelodeon stars, you wouldn't put Ariana Grande in there because I don't think her main fame is like, of course, you know her, like you know where she started, but you're not thinking like where her majority of her fame is. I don't think people really draw to that. They draw.
That's why I say the when they say the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse people, because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse had Britney Spears, Usher, Justin Timberlake. I'm like, you can't count them because that's more like a fun fact. Hey, did you know Justin Timberlake was on Disney Channel? Did you know Usher was on Disney Channel? You know, they don't count as Disney people.
Right. No facts. Hold on, but Usher was in the Mickey Mouse club.
Yeah. Well, you know, like we darn near was like 3, 4 years old. So
We
I
was
just
thinking a
so
lot.
yeah, I wasn't there, but you know, like I see it all the time. Like when I was growing up, like yeah, he was on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh, I've never seen the clips of him on there. I've seen
Mhm.
Justin many times and Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Gosling, yeah.
Yeah, but I've never.
Brady.
But they probably only show more of those people because they'll sitting there singing black songs as like teenage white boys.
Yeah. I remember didn't they have like an R&B group like little clip that always goes viral?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they were singing Jodeci.
Yeah.
yeah,
Just crazy for a kid show.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, well, Usher is like, okay, this seemed about right, but yeah, you
I got
throw
a
them.
question though. I have a
What's up?
question for y'all. Do y'all think? All right, so who would you go with on the last seat? Would you go Selena Gomez or would you go? Hold on, wait for it. It's because it's another one, right? Here we go. Or would y'all go with who y'all going? Selena Gomez or
I'll go
Demi
Selena
Lovato?
over her.
That's Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Selena because I Wizard of Waverly Place was a bigger show than could what Demi Lovato was Camp Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Camp Rock was that was big, but Wizard of Waverly Place is that's Disney Hall of Fame. Camp Rock is Disney Hall of Fame to an extent as well, but I'm talking if you're talking Mount Rushmore of Disney shows, Wizard of Waverly Place can possibly be up there. You're not going to put Camp Rock in, I think, the Disney movie Mount Rushmore. At least I wouldn't personally. But
Disney Channel movies. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, y'all. He
okay,
was part of period and projects like Get Pito, Muppets wanted, but he was not a part of the '90s cast and included Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and Christine. Oh, Christina Aguilera is in it too.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, Ashley.
yeah, the reason that's the other reason why I was like, I ain't never seen Usher in there. 'Cause I was like, I've seen nothing but only white kids.
But Usher was a child star though. He was in
No,
something.
um,
I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna look it up.
uh, yo, it's funny. My dad always like. I remember he told a story about back when Usher was coming up. somebody gave him a demo, like a little burnt CD of like, yeah, check out this kid that's singing. He he coming up, and yeah, and it was Usher CD, and I remember him telling me that as a kid, and I was just like, that's crazy, because he probably probably just threw it out, didn't really think too much of it, but he said he just remembered seeing the name Usher on there.
Yeah, it's back when artists had to really they really had to build it brick by brick. Like they had to really do the network and shake hands. They used to do. I don't know if they still do this, but I know like they used to do like mall performances. Like a lot of teenage artists, like they would perform at the mall. That's crazy to think about now that was like a real thing, because malls don't really have any weight, and I can't even imagine a bunch of teenage kids going to see somebody perform at the mall.
They still perform in the mall, like Zeddy Will and them.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, but I mean, but that, I guess that's like some up north stuff though. Like, because American Dream Mall is still like a mall that's like, what I mean, it's a spectacle up there in Jersey, American Dream Mall.
Okay.
And I think Kendrick, if I'm not mistaken, Kendrick performed at the mall at American Dream Mall on their last tour. Uh, because SZA was doing her makeup pop up, and then Kendrick came out and like, I don't know if they did Luther or if he just came out and said, "What's up? Y'all supporting SZA?" And it was like, "That's what's up," and then gave the mic back. I'm not sure, but yeah, Kendrick did that too. Like, but American Dream Mall, I feel like might be an exception just because it's bigger than a mall,
Yeah, no, I want that to become like a. I know like in the early days of like 80s, early 90s, like when I hear people talk about that era, they say that like rappers would perform at like skating rinks, like before hip hop became as big as it used to be. Like that's just the kind. I don't know. I want people to. I think it would be dope if more rappers and just artists in general found like and I'm gonna segue this to La Russell. If people found like more creative venues to perform at, like like the Russell did have a thing at his house that he was doing and all that. Yeah, I want to see more of that going forward.
Yeah, no, that's why I hate with what he did. I felt it kind of just took away his momentum, because I think just the stuff that he was doing is all super dope. And a lot of people I've seen some people be like, so look, y'all want to have this fake outrage of, you think I don't think nobody thinks he's supporting Jeffrey Epstein or Hitler, but it's just the point you making it, I just don't think is needed. You feel me? I get what he's saying though, where they're all the same people that made Martin Luther King, that made Malcolm, that made all these great people, also made this evil in this world. So yeah, I get it. It all come from the same place, and it shows the duality of life, where your decision can take you down different paths. I feel you, but I think, I don't know, you just didn't have to go that deep with it. I think this is a topic that.
Hey yo.
Oh, my bad. Pause. Slow down. But but yeah, but I just think it was, I don't know. I think his engineer was right. Let's just leave it there. His engineer was right.
I got a question before you come back in, Jelani. Pause. I seen the internet theory about this. He signs to Rock Nation. He has the Lil Wayne situation and this situation literally back to back. Do you think this was a thing from Rock Nation? Tell him, hey, love controversy, get your name out there. Do you think that's what? Because La Russell, you got to think about all the times he was independent. La Russell been independent, grinding, doing his own thing for the past 8 years. The most you hear about La Russell is like when he was doing the Name Your Price mixtape. Shout out Nipsey, rest in peace, Nipsey. When he did the Name Your Price mixtape, and him doing the backyard shows, and him getting all the way to the NBA All-Star when it came to Oakland, and he was performing there. because he did Super Bowl, but he did Super Bowl after signing to Rock Nation. So it's like everything LaRussell was going viral for or in the headlines for as an independent artist for like 8, 9, however many years it's been that he's been grinding has been nothing but positive stuff. And people saying, this is dope. I support him. Salute. I respect his hustle. All of a sudden, he signed with Rock Nation and it's back-to-back controversies that's not on his side.
Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty self-inflicted though. Like, I think honestly, it ain't even so much of you making a statement. Like, it's and somebody pointed out on Twitter that was like, he said, we all haven't said, even you see, they're saying he said it like after mentioning, I'm not gonna say their names, but after mentioning like dictators and people that do traffic and all type of stuff, he says our name like we the worst person in the group out of all those people. But yeah, no, I just think he's just giving people too much access to himself. Like, you can't, if you're gonna make these statements, like whatever you said about Wayne, or you want to go against your engineer and put this song out because you feel like the world needs to hear it, like, just put it out and disappear. Like, stop entertaining, stop arguing with people, stop making videos calling people that don't necessarily understand, quote unquote, what you're doing stupid. Like, you're giving people too much access to you, and you could tell it's getting under your skin because you deleted all your social media.
Facts. And I think that's where that part I really didn't like, because I mean, him saying it, I was like, all right, you wilding on this one a little bit, but it is what it is. You still doing you. But then, as you said, letting it get to you to the point where you are deleting your social media and all this stuff, it's like, bro, just stand on what you said and keep it pushing. Like, I don't think you need to really just like, I don't think you need to let it get to you the way that it got to you. Don't go back and forth, just be like, hey, I did that. Y'all not rocking with it, whatever. It's out there for the people who want it. I'm going to keep pushing. So that's how I personally feel he should have been. But Rashad, you trying to segue into the J. Cole topic?
We ready?
Yeah.
You said it.
What?
Trying to silence us. They trying to silence us. You're gonna say something, stand on it.
Facts.
This morning on my everybody born is heaven sent, the way he said it was wild.
Yeah, exactly.
My thing, lame, shit, cute, and Paxful, is LaRussell been relevant for about 8 years. He ain't never. It was the one time he had the interview. I don't know if you guys remember this. He had an interview with a woman, and they were kind of talking about. She said, "What's your favorite meal?" He said it was kitty cat. So then she asked, "What's your favorite position?" And he said, "I don't think that you should ask an artist of my intellect level a question like that." And she was like, "What?" And I think he like walked off the set.
I saw that interview.
Yeah.
He
You know what I'm saying?
made it. I don't think he walked off, but he definitely made it awkward. Like,
Yeah. So that was the only other time I've seen LaRussell get bad PR in his entire 8 years as a fully independent artist. He signed to Jay-Z, Rock Nation. All of a sudden, it's back-to-back controversies. Now, he could have had the Wayne opinion, and he could have had this song in the tub. The thing is, I think LaRussell by himself probably would have just let people say what they had to say about Wayne. You're not going to beat the internet. What Jelani said, you're not going to beat the internet. We are going to have our day. If you're on the internet long enough, there's going to be an opinion that people, the mass majority, do not agree with. When they jump you, you take the beating. You take the jump. Just be quiet. People going to move on to the next topic tomorrow. They're going to talk about BBLs in Houston. Move on. They're going to forget all about it. And you come back to the internet and start tweeting again. They're going to forget in a couple days. Then you had this for no reason. There was no reason to release this song. You just released it because you wanted to. Or Jay-Z, Rock Nation on, you know what I'm saying? You really buzzing right now with the Lil Wayne joint, man. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else? Well, I did record this song that my engineer didn't want. Let me hear it. Oh, that's perfect. That's really gonna get them mad. Put it out. I'm just saying.
Jay-Z voice.
Put out the song. I ain't do no Jay-Z. I can't.
Nah, I
can't.
feel you.
I respect Jay-Z too much. You know what I'm saying? I do love Jesus Christ, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he stand with Jesus Christ. I do love Jesus Christ, so I have to say that Jesus Christ is Lord of my life. J. Cole, you started the beef. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning, and I wanted to go back to sleep. I couldn't. So I was looking at my phone. It was the 2-year anniversary of the Like That verse. So I'm looking at all the reactions from 2 years ago on the Like That verse. And shout out to the Mallory brothers. They were talking about, yeah, you know, J. Cole been going around for the past like couple years. Like, I'm the best rapper, this and that, smack you rappers. I said, you know what? Y'all right, Mallory brothers. Thank you for taking me back to 2024. For the past 2 years, J. Cole has been trying to gaslight us that he didn't start the whole beef. You started the whole beef, J. Cole. So for you to turn around after you deleted the song, after you do your apology and stuff, to turn around and say it's the white man that run the label that's doing it is nasty word. That's nasty word. That's nasty word, bro. So that's all I have to say on it. In terms of him doing the interview with Cam, I'm glad he did the interview with Cam, tackle the elephant in the room, and they talked about the legalities and they talked about the beef according to the clips that's out there. I'm waiting until the full interview is out so I can enjoy the full interview in one piece. But it looks dope that they, met up, did it on camera, handled business, and didn't hold back with no questions. Nadeska, great interview as well. But I just don't like the whole twist that J. Cole's been putting on this joint of saying, I chose peace, I chose meditation, I chose love. When you started the whole thing, that's it.
Do you think he started the whole thing?
I don't think that's what happened. It's a fact. It's a fact in his opinion. It's a fact, right? Drake or J. Cole reached out to Kendrick to hop on a song with him and Drake, right? The whole big three. Once Kendrick said no, I don't rock with Drake, to whoever it was, whether it was Drake or Cole on the line. I feel like Cole should have took out the whole mentioning the big three. I feel like Muhammad Ali, I'm doing the moral steppers. I'm stepping on all the competition. Whatever he said, the slick shots he was kind of throwing at Kendrick, he should have took all that out his verse. Just rewrote it. He didn't. He kept it in there. So what did Kendrick respond to? And like that specifically, it was the first person shooter first in the song. That's what Kendrick, in the first thing that lit up the whole fire, that's what he was responding to specifically. So yes, technically, J. Cole started it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't know. The more I think when he first put out the song and he deleted it, like I didn't understand it at first, but I think the more time is going by, I get it just because it's like it's been said a million times, but I don't think he knew it was going to get to that level as far as
and that's Jelani. But look though, that's fine with me. I don't have a problem with that. You could delete the song if you want to be out the business and everything like that. The thing I have a problem with is you coming around 5 months later with the poor Antonio freestyle and you going on these interviews and you going in new verses saying that rap beef is fabricated from the white man in the office at the label. And that's not what happened, bruh. You said what you said. Kendrick responded to it. You responded to that. Drake responded to that. Kendrick responded to Drake, and back and forth, and that's what happened. So to act like it's a white man in the suit that started it and pinning two black, that's a lie. Go ahead.
Well, technically, J. Cole is half white. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't know. I guess he did technically start it. I just feel like it was simmering for Drake. I mean, Drake and Kendrick had their own thing like for years. I don't think he knew it was going to be that. But I do get your overall point where it's like, you can't sit back now like, Mr. Peace and Kumbaya, and I never thought I was gonna go this far, but I don't know. I just feel like, because he was talking about it on the thing in the interview, like in the clips I saw where he was saying like he doesn't know if the content went too far, but he does think that the fan base like went too far as how they act. I do agree with him on that. Like the fan bases on both sides have, to this day, bro. I still see Drake and Kendrick fans arguing on the timeline every single day. So yeah, I just think overall the whole situation just is as great as the music was, it just got out of hand.
Yeah, I think one thing that I did not like in the clip, but he even admitted that it was kind of lame how he's talking about it. The whole afterwards of so like I mean, I've spoke with them, but I don't really reach out because me assuming because I've heard things, but like they still my peoples though, and it's like, bro, don't don't act like, I think as he said, but he was like, me even just saying this, coming here and saying this on on mic is kind of lame. And I was just like, yeah, like why say all this? Just reach out to him, like these your people, just reach out to him and see like yo, what's up? Like, I want you to know that ain't no hard feelings between us. It ain't, because you saying this on, if it was me, hypothetically, if this was me in this situation, you're hearing that I'm feeling some type of way and you haven't reached out to me, but then I hear you on on a podcast talking about, yeah, these are my boys, blah blah blah. Like, I still love them, I don't hit them up because I feel like he probably feeling some type of way, but they still my boys. That'll piss me off even more. Like, bro, just reach out to me. So that was the one thing I didn't really like within the clip that I saw, but I'll see with the whole interview, like form a full opinion on it. But yeah, I'm thinking like, Cole, you realer than that, bro. Because I think if these are people that's like me hypothetically, I feel with like you or Rashad. I'm like, I feel like there's some tension going on, but somebody then hit me up telling me like, yeah, Rashad feeling some type of way right now. And I'm just like, well, if he's feeling some type of way, I guess I'm gonna just leave him alone. You would expect that this is like a person that I truly love and respect. I'm gonna hit him up, be like, bro, like, yo, what's up? Like, you good? Like I don't want you to be thinking that I'm that I did you wrong. Like, this is my side of things, X, Y, and Z. That's how I would expect you to approach a friend. So that part I didn't really like from the clip. So, but I mean, at the same time, this is a lot bigger stage. I don't know. I just think, yeah, you could definitely address it with the person and not, because I'm assuming when he said that, it was more about Drake than it was Kendrick, realistically. So I know Drake gotta be feeling like, dang, bruh, you kind of turned on me, and then now it's just like, it's crickets, and then now we don't talk no more. It's like you could make the song talking about, yeah, Drake, I want you to know, like, I still respect everything you did for me, in Port Antonio and all that stuff, but then it's like, bro, you ain't reaching out. Like, I ain't heard nothing from you. So, not to sound like Maul, but like that's but for real, like, that's how I would expect, like, and I don't know, I guess, what's y'all thoughts on that?
I just think it just, I don't know. I just think it just got weird between them. I don't know. Obviously I don't know these people personally, but it's just hard to. I mean, I think they'll let's say they could have did something beautiful. They could have really raptured the culture. Where was Kendrick June 16 show one time? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was overall. I mean, I think the beef was like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great pop culture moment. But from their perspective, is them knowing each other for like 15 plus years at this point. I just think it's weird between them now. Like it's just hard to you can't just delete the song and then be like, hey, my bad, bro. You know, because you did say some things in that song that was kind of crazy. Like, imagine if behind the scenes, like Cole had told Kendrick that he liked To Pimp a Butterfly, and then you hear that song, and he's like, well, actually, you know, it was overhyped. You know, it's just hard to be cool. So from that perspective, and then with Drake, he's probably just feeling like, yo, I don't even know if there's any rapper I could trust, period, after, you know, what happened. Like, so many people he probably thought was his friend and dissed him, and people he collaborated with for years. It's like, you know, I've had situations happen where like I go, maybe even with us, like we didn't, like me and you never had beef mode, obviously, but we went like a few years without talking, just randomly, just out of nowhere. Like stuff like that, I feel like that happens a lot of times too.
But if you was hearing, if you heard that I did feel some type of way about something that you did, and then we haven't talked, like, wouldn't you? I would expect you to reach out to me.
Yes, even though there was like a 1%, even though we never had no issue, there was like a thought in the back of my head, like, damn, like did me and Mo, like, did something happen that I do something that I didn't know I did, like that we, but it was just, I don't know, it was just random. But I agree with your raw point. Like, if that's somebody that you really close with and you think it's an issue, it should just be like a direct line of contact at some point.
No, facts. And yeah, no, we it's never no issue, bro.
Oh no, I know that now, because it was just, but I just feel like we just randomly had like, because it might have been like 4 or 5 years, I don't know, but it was like early 20s, like,
yeah,
we just
I mean, that's when I wasn't talking to people as much, just because I was in that relationship, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, real life be happening.
Yeah, no, facts. And I mean, yeah, Cole married and stuff. So I mean, you know, maybe I don't know. But I think
remember the Nadeska interview, he was talking about like sport, like group chats, like it's a bad thing. He was like, why am I in this group chat arguing about sports? I got a kid. And I was like, dang, bro, you can't like just debate Darren Peterson versus AJ DeMonster real quick, like.
It's not that deep. But then again, I don't have a kid, so I can't say. But I think you could have a kid and still like be passionate about certain things that you enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, because most people that have kids, they always tell me they like, you know, sometimes they feel kind of offended from their friends. They like, I never get invited to anything now, because like everybody always just assumed that I can't go because I got a kid. It's like, I'm still young. Like, I can still go out with y'all. I just had to find a sitter for the kid. You know what I mean? And we move. So I mean, I think about that in the back of my head all the time. I want to address what Lame Shakute Impactful said. First of all, he said Drake was heavy stepping in LA for a decade, and then TDE waited until he left. Drake was Mr. Calabasas for a few years. I mean, they were throwing subs to each other that whole time, though. I will say that. And then he said they could have did something beautiful and shifted the culture, rapping together. Yeah, that's what Cole or Drake was trying to make happen on First Person Shooter, but you know, Kendrick was
that
like,
would have been crazy.
You said that would have been crazy.
Yeah, if they
it would have been nice. It would have been nice. I mean, Kendrick, the one that set the bomb off and said, you know, I ain't gonna do that, and then he said after Big Three, like that ended all the, you know, all unity. Any chance for some unity when he said after Big Three is just Big Me. I was like, dang, that's how you feel. But hey, like he wanted that crown, you know. It's always kind of how Kendrick was. And then the one where he said the Juneteenth show at the Forum, he said, was that a one-time thing? Yeah, I think so. I ain't gonna lie. And I think it's only because like Kendrick be busy, bro. Like it's like, you know, like he said on the Heart Part 6 with Black Hippie, what happened to Black Hippie? He just like, bro, like I got busy.
Yeah, literally.
The rap gods were happy with Cole, so he had that godly flow, but they took it when he tried to use it for wrong. Kill my ego, now I'm snapping like a gold mine. Yeah. So, but to answer Mo's question on like how would I feel if like someone thought things were weird between us and he didn't just reach out, I say, bro, like at the end of the day, I always think about the phone works both ways. And when I feel like I've done what I could to salvage the friendship, it's like I'm gonna leave it in the ball's in your court. Like it's someone who I was real close with in the women's basketball space a few years ago. I was real close with dude. And then you know what I mean? Like he kind of did something that I didn't like. I told him about it. We kind of moved on. And then I was just kind of telling other people about it in the space. They was like, "Oh, you probably need to cut him off." And then he got into it with them, and they a black woman and he a white dude. So, what I'm saying? I sided with the black woman, you know, and we talked about it. And he was like, "So you just gonna take her side?" I'm like, "I ain't gonna lie, I've been rocking with her for a little minute too." And that was kind of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying all this to say it easily, the relationship, the friendship could have easily been salvaged with a simple phone call. But I sent my text, he sent his, and he never made the phone call. So it's like, dang, what else can I do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to call you when you feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're the one who's offended here. Me, I'm cool with both of y'all if y'all still want to be cool with me. But I understand there's a rift. If you still want to mend things because you feel away, call me. I sent my text. You ain't calling me. Okay, it is what it is. You unfollow me. You had your boys unfollow me. You cheat. You moved states. You got married. Congratulations. I hope you're doing well if you still check out the channel from time to time. But it's like that friendship could have been saved from a phone call and you didn't want to reach out. The phone worked both ways. I'm not going to be reaching out when you feel offended. So it's like, I think with Cole, I don't know. Maybe he should have just reached out. The phone worked both ways, but Cole, you know what I mean? If Cole, if you wanted to save your friendship that much, reach out to him. You know what I'm saying? But that also it crashes the whole thing of what they were saying on Rory and Maul that Cole and Kendrick talked on the phone. What they say for 3 hours once he dropped 7-minute drill. I'm like, that don't even. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of stuff, rumors out there that just made no sense throughout the whole beef. Like the whole thing of like Schoolboy Q stepped to him and said, "Hey, this where the beef going. You might want to drop out." Like it's just a bunch of rumors that the internet ran with, and they could run with it because none three of these dudes do interviews. So I'm glad that at least Cole doing interviews. Maybe
Right.
it would hard Drake to do an interview or Kendrick to do it. I know Kendrick ain't never gonna do an interview because he just so mysterious. But gosh, Lee, just say something, bro. Because you leading up all these little side things and people can just make up whatever they want to say because y'all ain't talking. Just talk. Y'all ain't got to be so mysterious and so big all the time. Y'all ain't bigger than the program. You still him. You got to pee every day. You got to put on pants with 2 legs every single day. You ain't no special. Do an interview. Talk to somebody, bro.
I mean, it's all good. We all know the Bobby Altoff interviews on the way.
They giggling about how many kids they gonna have in an alternate universe. If y'all don't talk about rap,
No, that's real journalism right there.
I think, one thing I do dislike, and I think Drake would be able to get into that bag of get into a better space where he can have these conversations with more like rap, journalists and stuff like that. But so many of them, they all, I don't know, it's just he got so much tension with all of them, where they all have at some point felt some type of way, like I guess criticized him, some type of way that he didn't like. And I'm not saying that, either one of them are wrong, but I just realistically, he has tension with so many of the people that would really get to the bottom line of this. And it kind of leaves it where all we're left with is him doing Bobby Altoff interviews, I really like if you can realistically think of one hip hop journalist that you could see Drake realistically sitting down with and having a conversation with, like he did back in the day with.
question.
Oh, what's up?
What did Sway say during the whole beef? I don't know.
That's one.
There we go. Go on Sway in the morning.
But and I guess Sway hasn't had a big interview in so long that that's just I think honestly his last big interview might have been Kanye. But that would be really dope. That would be really dope for Sway to him to do that with him. It's like I've been listening to Sway in the morning forever. But yeah, that would be cool. But I think a lot of the people who do are doing the main figures in there. That's because Sway is still a big figure, but realistically, the main figures that you think of when you think of hip hop interviews, like the of course, like Ebro and Nadeska. What's the buddy? What's the two dudes that he sat down with at his crib? With
Frat Radar, Elliot Wilson,
Beat
and
up, Elliot Wilson.
Beat Up.
yes. So like, I wish like that relationship didn't go sour.
They started beefing because of the Bobby Altoff interview.
Yeah, and and I wish that never happened because I think that was like probably one of Drake's best interviews because they asked him real questions. They really got to they know hip hop, they know all the stuff in there. Bobby just looking for clickbait moments.
She don't know rap, so it's like I think you go with because Sway is like Angie Martinez, right? Like Angie Martinez ain't necessarily like the hottest interview, but Cole used to go to her all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because she got that history of being here since the 90s and she know hip hop like the back of her hand. I think if you go to someone like Sway, because like you say, you can't go to Elliot Wilson because him and Elliot Wilson beefing. So it's going to be tension there that you got to cut through just to get to the regular interview. So I'm saying you go to someone like a Sway. Okay, like you said, okay, Sway might not be viral every single interview now. However, he still has the hip hop knowledge and the depth to carry out that interview. And I think it'll be a good interview. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think the last viral Sway moment outside of like Lil Baby and everything like that will probably be Lil Dicky, the Lil Dicky freestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we talking just straight off of like loyalty, not saying that they journalists or whatever, like, but if we just talking straight up of who was loyal to Drake, I mean, it would make more sense from the interview with either Maul or Academics. Like those like the two main ones that really was holding the fort and still right now still holding it down for him. You know what I'm saying? Like if we just doing it based off loyalty, if we just talking like pure journalists, I don't really know who. It's not that many, like you said, that he doesn't have an issue with or that didn't take a shot like even like Rob Markman, like he's not cool with him. Like it's plenty of journalists out here, but major ones that didn't take a shot at him. I'm not even gonna say take a shot at him. Like major ones, he just don't have issues with. Like I don't know who. By the way, just 12:45. I gotta log off, but we still got like another 20 minutes before then.
Bet. I think Maul would be too biased, but I think
yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish, Mom.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, Maul would be too biased, but I think Academics would actually be a good interview because Academics don't care. He's going to ask the real questions, but still, he's going to glaze them, but he's going to ask the real questions like, yo, so what really happened with you and Cole? Like what, why is Kendrick feeling this way? Like what was the phone call? Did X, Y, and Z? He's going to get to because at the end of the day, he's about getting. I would say that's one thing about him. He do be, as I said, glazing like crazy with like, especially when it comes to Drake, especially in comparison to Kendrick. But I think at the end of the day, he's going to ask the unbiased questions that everybody want to know. But I think I don't think Drake would want to do that. I think it could easily go left, and I just think he doesn't really want to talk about. Facts.
All would be violent. That's crazy.
But I think at the same time, I don't think Drake really want to have these real conversations. Like he, of course, huge fan, but I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I don't think he's trying to have these real conversations, with anybody. Because I don't think he wants his persona to get like he'd rather just seem like the fun guy, you know. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, no.
Oh, go ahead, Jelani.
Oh no, I was gonna say like I was gonna say I think he was trying to move on from the beef entirely and just not talk about it to anybody. But at the same time, I heard that leak or that snippet of him mentioning Schoolboy Q. So it's like, you know, I definitely don't think Drake. I can't tell you the last time Drake did a real interview. I mean, it's been forever, and it's been even longer for Kendrick since they did. Like he did the interview with SZA or whatever. And he did like a Super Bowl interview, but it was like it was very regulated. You could tell that they were told like you can't ask certain questions and things like that. So yeah, I don't think either one of them is probably ever going to really. It will not for a long time. They won't sit down and talk about the beef.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know. Maybe years from now, they'll write a tell-all book or something. But
This is it's gonna be content forever. Like people gotta accept that. Like I've been seeing people on Twitter like, yo, y'all still talking about Drake versus Kent, bro. The two biggest rappers of a generation went toe to toe, and it was like one of the craziest weeks, if not the craziest week in hip hop ever. Like, yes, people are gonna talk about this for a long time.
I was just thinking about academics randomly. It was like the most random day where he just was like, yo, Kendrick was just messing up my favorite songs. And he pulled up Goosebumps and like what was the other song? Like Mask Off the remix.
I'll give him Mask Off, but Goosebumps, he was tripping.
But yeah, but I was like, dang, bro, like this came out of nowhere, dog. Like just a random like Friday night, he just pulled it up on stream and started like making fun of Kendrick. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it do be like super random. When he went on that round, I was just like, all right, bro, this is pure hate. But as I said, especially with the Goosebumps, I'm like, that's like a top 5 Kendrick feature, bro.
He's in the Asher Martin doing donuts.
Facts. But yeah, bro.
Yeah, no, that would be I don't know. I think that'd be a great interview. Like academics he's not a bad interviewer.
No, facts. Yo, so since we down to our last 15 minutes, I didn't want to bring it up in the beginning just in case, wrong people here. But yo, so while I was on vacation, I had a little vacation babe, right? The girl that I met. And this is the stuff that I was talking about while I texted Rashad about, but I didn't want to bring up. Yeah, I met this shorty out there or whatever. But so I bring it up to ask this question. So the shorty that I met out there, she had some stuff going on that is not curable, but during the right moments, it won't be spread.
Okay.
And I bring it up to ask, would you ever deal with a girl that has like had the H, not the IV, but the other
the S at the end.
Yeah, you feel me? And right. And but they love to tell you like it's like, you're not gonna get, I take pills. If I have a outbreak, I'll let you know, blah blah blah. But would you ever take that risk?
I would say no, but I feel like it's become like kind of common nowadays. Like unfortunately, like a lot of I don't know. There used to be a time when it was like I feel like that was like a real stigma behind having certain things, like having any one of those diseases. And now it's like people just kind of accept it. Like it is what it is. Like you see, that ain't stopping no girl from messing with young boy. I put it like that. Like none of those women are like, yo, we not doing this no more. Like, oh yeah, my bad. I forgot my the words of Jelani are not the words of Rashad. But yeah, no. That's and if I'm being totally honest with you, my initial answer would be no. But like, it always comes down to how bad is she. Like, and I shouldn't say that, but like, that'd be a lot of the decision to be like, yo, if this is like a real once in a lifetime, like, generational prospect, I might take the risk, even if I'm not proud of that.
Nah, I hear you. I ain't gonna say I feel you. I hear you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I would do it, but like, I could see how somebody would be like, you know what? I don't know when I'm gonna get this opportunity again.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I just don't know. I feel like for me personally, it it's just like, man, it goes so. I've always said, like, mentally, I'm like, I would never deal with no chick like that, and so that's why for me, I feel. But I've like morally told myself like my whole life pretty much, and then so it's like going against that, it'll make me feel. I feel like I'll end up with it, even though they be like, oh, like it doesn't mean you're gonna get it, blah blah. But I feel like that'll be just my luck. Like you say you'll never do this, and then you do it, and next thing you know, it's goosebumps everywhere. You feel me? But Rashad had showed me a chick who got married and has a baby on the way, but she got the other H, the big H.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Buddy, he's negative, but he was like, I'm gonna take that risk. And now they're married with kid on the way or whatever.
Yeah, I think I forget what the name of the. It's like some way where they listen. I don't know, but I know it's some way that they can do their thing to where besides the obvious thing of like, listen, man, you kind of caught me off guard with that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm trying to put a sentence together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot to say about that. Yeah, it's just like a lot of advancements in technology and health now to where it's not the death sentence that it used to be. Like it's there's different ways to go around it and things like that. Lord willing, none of us are affected by that disease, whether directly or indirectly. But yeah, they got all type of stuff, bro. Like they got whole dating apps for people that have certain stuff. Like, is it it's not as bad as it. This is gonna sound crazy, but like it's not as bad having the big H as it used to be.
No, that's a fact. They definitely, especially in the alphabet society, they have they're big on, they're big on like, taking proactive like pills and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say they should be. I saw somebody say on Twitter before. It's true. Like it's marketed as being more of a thing for that community. That should be like just standard for everybody.
Yeah. Nah, definitely, especially if you're out in Houston.
Or Atlanta.
Nah, facts, for real.
Yeah, but definitely Houston, though. Yeah, that's it's nasty out there.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man.
In the room, we can feel a heartbeat. Beat. We want to talk to her right now, but what, Mo? Right now, she
sleep.
You mean she could work for the church for 24 years? But Magic Johnson can live?
He's grown. Yeah, that's a fact.
Man, how I feel about it is like, I don't really want to comment too much on it, but I do think the whole thing, like Jelani was saying, it's become normalized because of the advancements in medication. And also just like, I feel like the wildness kind of promoted in the modern society with social media. Like what's normalized now is like crazy, bro. Like what was considered crazy a few decades ago, that's considered like normal now. You know what I'm saying? Like the crazy stuff, it just get crazier and crazier for real. And I feel like it's kind of like a crackdown one because it has gotten so crazy with just like laws and regulations of like you see all these states banning particular sites and stuff like that. Because I do think it was kind of not kind of. It was getting out of hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think the banning in the certain states and everything making it more difficult for people to access those things and stuff like that. I think it is. I think it's kind of bringing society back down to a more normalized state or what used to be normal and stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I think the combination of those both things, the advanced medication and just what we as society normalize, has made everything crazier. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely the horniest era of like humans in the history of society.
Yeah, because the stuff that you talk about, like the hippies and what I'm saying, the people who revolted against society standards back in the '60s, like some of that stuff in terms of interactions, it'll probably be like, oh, we do that in high school now. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if it's necessarily like the horniest, because I think during that 70s time, that 60s and 70s, they were very on the like the freedom. It's just like I have a homegirl who mom, grew up during that time. And she kind of told us about it, just, having sex with somebody was not, it didn't really matter. But you got to think they didn't have as many like STDs and stuff that they had to worry about. Like HIV. Yeah, we didn't say so much, but yeah, HIV didn't really pop up until the 80s. So imagine like, if you're not having to mentally really think about that, and then because that's where I guess, and then the P's, the HPs, it's like those. I think, I don't know how prevalent it was during that time, but I feel like, yeah, it just wasn't, all that stuff wasn't as crazy. So it's like, why not? I think during those times they were very free, just like, just do whatever. You wanna hook up with the person, just hook up with them. You feel me? It's like you're not really feeling no risk other than the possibility of having a baby. But yeah, I think now, society has been this way for a minute, but I think now it is, I don't know. I think it's more visual in a sense. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's,
I'll say this. I don't think you had, you know what I mean? Obviously, you didn't have it because of technology, but you didn't have tripods set up in random people's backyards where like girls by themselves with, you know what I'm saying, with you know what I mean, gadgets and stuff. Like you didn't have that back in the day because you didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right.
stuff like that you wouldn't see back then that you will see now. And it's kind of like common to see now because that's just a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they probably had a healthier relationship with sex just because it was like you had to have somebody in person. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to actually go out and meet people and like get a girl, and in order to be able to have sex with her, versus now where it's like it's so much out here. It's had even I've spoken about it on here, like it's had negative impacts on me before, but even like the younger kids who have like more access. I wasn't even able to really access it for real, like for real. So I got my first smartphone, like, and that was probably like 2010, 11, around that time. Like I was in high school by that point. These kids now be like second grade with iPhones, so it's no telling what they potentially be seeing.
nah, facts. Yeah, it's as you said, I think they definitely had a healthier relationship with all that, with sex and sexuality in general.
Yeah, I agree.
And now it is brain rotting a lot of people because I saw this one thing that somebody was like, bro, I don't think we was ever meant to see this many bad women in our lives. Like, I don't think God intended it to be this way. Because back in the day, before the 2000s, it's like, man, you would see there'll be like the baddies in your area. You feel me? And maybe you travel a little bit, you see a baddie here, you see a random at like the gas station. You feel me? Something crazy. And but now it's just like, man, they everywhere. And then everybody, you have so many. It's just like regular women. Like girl I work with at T-Mobile talking about she want a BBW, me a BBL, and it's she want a BBL, and I'm like, what for? I'm like, bro, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like, I want it for me, and it's like, I feel you. Like I'm not against wanting to improve your image for yourself, but at the same time, it's just like, why? You trying to drop a couple bands on having a bigger butt to work at T-Mobile? Like, I don't know. That just don't make sense to me. But that's what society is right now. They copping BBs to work at the CVS.
Bro, it's like 19, 20-year-old girls that think that a man like buying a girl a bag or paying a girl's bill on like the first date is some normal behavior. Like, because they be hearing these rappers and seeing these Instagram models getting that type of treatment. They think that's like the dude that, their 20-year-old boyfriend that works at Home Depot. Like, they think that he's supposed to be doing that too. Like, it's just Instagram really, that's the main app that really changed, I feel like, our relationship. Like I said, it changed a lot of men where they think that they got to have a certain caliber of woman looks wise, and then a lot of women think that financial wise that they're entitled to a certain type of man.
How many times you seen at a special surprise birthday party or graduation or celebration, whatever the case might be, have you seen the balloons spelled out with the letters and the fancy spread stuff? How many times have you seen a hotel with rose petals all over the hotel? How many times have we seen that before social media? And now it's normalized, and now it's the standard for like, you can't at least do this for me, huh?
or when did, not to cut you off, Mo, like when did asking a girl to be your girlfriend, when did that become a proposal style thing, like marriage? Like you of course you ask a girl to be your girlfriend, but like when did that become like a full marriage proposal with like flowers and a photo shoot and an Uber black? Like, that wasn't a thing.
Bro, I seen a woman blame being late for dates on men. I said, what? She said, you can't be like, a real man gonna be like, okay, so I see we have a time problem. How can we fix that? You ain't send me no Uber black. I said, what? You really blame?
Yeah, it's crazy out here.
Yeah. As you said, I think society is, I don't know, man. The shorty on my job said this one dude just keep texting her talking about, hey, come get this money.
Hey. That's what it is now. It's just, I told you I'm pro tricking culture.
Hey, come get this money is crazy.
Yeah, like I remember, I think I talked about it on the pod where I spent I gave Shorty some money for Valentine's Day, but that's because it's long distance. But I ain't like I ain't drop a bag or nothing. But I remember I'm thinking, because me and the girl, we ain't been linking, we ain't actually dating. I'm like, we had just started talking at that point, really. So I'm like, I'm not gonna drop a bag, but I'll give you a little something, like enjoy your night. You feel me? And I remember I was talking to, as I said, the girl at my job about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably sending something. She like, how much you gonna send her? About 150? I said, nah. And and for a second, she got me thinking, I'm like, if this is the expectation, I ain't finna send nothing. Cause when I'm about to send, she about to be like, what the hell? You feel me? But Shorty was still appreciative. I sent a little something. I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna drop out the money, how much it was.
You ain't gotta do all that. Yeah. Nah,
But for real though, like it really but for real though, and that is interesting. The same girl that I'm talking to, we've been talking, and I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. But I'll say one of the things with me within like when I'm talking to girls, I'm not going to overextend myself too early because I'm not gonna be. I don't know personally, like I don't want to seem. I'm not gonna be thirsty over you, and it's like I gotta feel the vibe. I got to be a mutual exchange, and so the girl, like, but I'm like, I'm pretty consistent. I'm be caring, all that different stuff. And she had made a comment. She was just like, yeah, like I feel like you could do more. And I was like, okay, in what way? Well, I don't want to tell you, blah blah. And I'm saying that thing. I'm like, shorty, it's like, especially in far communication, like I communicate way better to you than you do with me. It's like, and so you don't always make me want to do more. It's like I don't. But now I was thinking, then I started thinking, I'm like, what is the more? Is it you want me to start sending in money? Cause I'm not gonna just start doing that. I'm like, we ain't linked yet. Like you still out in Houston, you feel me? It'd be different if like you are my girl, but I'm not gonna just start tricking just to trick. And then next thing you know, a month or two down the line, I'm out of hundreds of dollars, and then we not talking. That's just not how I'm finna. That's not how I move. I ain't never did it before. I ain't finna start now. So, but I don't know. Yeah, as I said, like when she said that, I was just kind of like, like all right, like I was like maybe I guess I could be more expressive in a sense, within when we text and talk and stuff. But at the same time, I don't want. Sometimes it's like you show. All right, okay, I'll really wrap it up with this. I feel like sometimes you show girls your true emotion, bro. That's when they start to lose interest because it's like,
It's a fact. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like they be like, oh, I want you to open up, I want you to be vulnerable with me, and then you get vulnerable, and then they looking at you like, all right, like
Yeah.
it's
I literally
it's like,
had that right tonight before we. Oops, I don't know who watching.
No, I feel you because I've had like I had like the last girl I was kind of talking to like a couple months ago. I definitely feel like I definitely feel like I was too like I don't know I was like yeah like I'm gonna plan a date out, like we gonna link up all that, and we did and stuff, but like I don't know, man, you gotta kind of play it casual nowadays, unfortunately, because if you like, it's like if you move too fast or you move with a purpose, they look at it like you thirsty or something like that. I don't know. It's weird out here right now, bro.
bro, facts. They want you to be thirsty over them, but then when you are, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
you
you
doing,
doing too much. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep it P at the end of the day, man. I don't know no other way to do it.
Nah, exactly.
Well, all right, fellas. All right, fellas. Another good pod, man. Another good pod. I guess we get out of here. Y'all let the people know where they can find y'all and all that good stuff.
Find the pod, throwback pod on Instagram. I'm thinking about it's a podcast that I listen to, like another pod. That's crazy. Yo, it's how you know it's late night right now. No, you can find our podcast, the 1 a.m. podcast, on Instagram, Twitter, the 1 a.m. pod, not Twitter, TikTok, the 1 a.m. pod. Um, I think there's some underscores in there. I could be wrong, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter underscore Jelani, 2 underscores at the end. Not really active on there like that anymore, but like, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at RBMO ____. You can find me on TikTok at RubberBandMo. You can find me on X at Monos.
Hey, salute, appreciate
You
you.
as well, bro. At Monos _. Shout out to Big Homie
Salute,
Dan. And yeah. And I want you, at the end of the day, I I want everybody to know that you heaven sent, man. You know, just want to end it off on that note. Remember, Mussolini was heaven sent. Kim Jong-un is heaven sent. You feel me? Genghis Khan is heaven sent. You feel me? Even you. So.
Even you. Even you is crazy. Dan is he sung earlier Colt 45 by Afro Man earlier this week.
Hey, shout out to Afro Man for winning his case.
Yeah. He beat the system, man. Went against them people and won. Get your money back, man.
I didn't know if we was gonna make it to 2 hours, and I'm not gonna honest with you, bro. I was like my Gatorade, you know, like in 2K, like
the Gatorade light was on.
Bro, we was like 20 minutes in. I was because I had to wake up early today. I was like,
yeah.
But no, we made it through.
Made it through, man. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all next week, man. 1 a.m. pod. Y'all boy be easy. Y'all boys and girl be easy. Until next week. Peace.
Throw your motherfucking hands. Get 'em high.